Now, Kenya's High Court yesterday suspended operations of the Shakahola Commission for 7 days, pending a detailed ruling to be issued next week. Now, this is coming days after the Azimio coalition, headed by opposition leader Raila Odinga, sued to stop the commission from commencing sit-ins.
The coalition filed the case 2 weeks ago, arguing that President William Ruto's appointment of the 8-member team is illegal and amounts to a usurpation of powers vested in other state organs by the Constitution. They also claim that President Ruto usurped the authority of the National Police Service to conduct investigations by appointing the team. To discuss this development further, we're now joined by Vice President, Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, let's get into it. The unfortunate incidents in Shakahola, we've seen 240 bodies that have been found. That's the latest update that we have. And now it seems that the investigation might be marred with some illegalities or technicalities. I want you to shine some light on what's going on for us.
So what the petition does is that it raises pertinent questions of law that were overlooked when this commission of inquiry was set into place. First of all, let me just say the Law Society of Kenya, the moment this happened, we set up a team of advocates who would represent the various families who had lost their loved ones, and they were ready to their services on pro bono basis. And so we, through the president of the Law Society of Kenya and various members of ours in Mombasa, had gone to the ground to meet and analyze what were the challenges and to also meet with the various families. Now, by the government taking over this process and changing it into a commission of inquiry, before even investigations have been completed and done. Now, there's a process in how investigations are done, and then evidence is presented before the Director of Public Prosecutions. Then he makes a decision as to whether to prosecute, whether he has adequate evidence or not. Now, this has been moved and shoved aside, and the president moved, picking representatives from various areas in our legal spaces, including the judiciary, which has been challenged on the constitutionality of that, because there's a clear separation of powers. If there was anyone to appoint any judicial officer, it should have been the Chief Justice. The president cannot purport to stretch his hand to an arena that is not his. So the petition raises technical concerns, because we do not want a situation where a commission is used to sort of cleanse what has been happening. This is a situation that has happened over years. Over 200 bodies have been exhumed. So the question is, what were the police doing? There was a question of 40 children disappearing, and the owner of the children's home reported this to the police. We want full investigations to be done, and we want to know what really happened, and we want people prosecuted. We do not want a situation where there could be some sort of cleansing of the situation. And that's why technical and pertinent questions have been raised as to the process that has been used. We have the IG, the Inspector General, who is supposed to carry out the investigations independent from the office of the president. Because by the president appointing this commission, it means he's interfering with the constitutional work of the office of the Inspector General. By appointing a judge to chair this commission, he's interfering.
Yeah, I want to know
the key mandate of the Constitution. Of separation.
Let's quickly just get you to respond. I want to know, what the level of trust is for the Kenyan police force. If you say that this has been happening for years, and of course, there wasn't proper investigations and nobody was arrested and it wasn't stopped all this while, do Kenyans trust that its police force will be able to carry out the proper investigation at all?
My answer is yes. Why I say that is because there are specific police that these reports were made to. The mandate was to certain police within Malindi area and Mombasa area that these crimes were reported to. So we don't want a situation what we have seen of purporting to try and move the police from the area. That is not adequate. Moving police, meaning you're moving the problem from one area and put it to another area. That does not resolve. We want to know who are these policemen, who was the officer in charge in that particular station, who received all these complaints and why they did not act. And that's why we do not want a situation of a commission of inquiry, because it's not just reconciliation. We want to identify who are the persons behind before we can even think of a commission of inquiry. And we have set up, even as the Law Society of Kenya, a team to support as the investigations go by, because the families do not want the crimes to be swept under or to be hidden. And so the Law Society would be supporting as they report and we carry out and collect evidence to prosecute on behalf of these families. So we want the Director of Public Prosecution to be able to identify who are the perpetrators. We have had cases before, and the Law Society has been dealing with so many cases against the police force. And the same police were able to investigate, were able to push through the Director of Police, Director of Public Prosecution, and working together with ICO, which is an body, independent body that also investigates crimes committed by the police. Let them be prosecuted through the normal process. Several police have been prosecuted before. Kenya celebrates even in this year the Willie Kimani case, whereby one of the police who killed a lawyer in the line of his duty, he was investigated by the police, and the Law Society was able to push and support and have those policemen prosecuted through the justice system. And that's the justice that these families want. We want to see, we want to name, we want to shame the perpetrators, we want to identify who was involved in this chain or series of actions, because we cannot say that it's only one limited station. Who else was aware of what was going? We recently changed the IG, the Inspector General. We have a new one that was appointed this year. So if we're saying it's the previous police boss, we should hold him accountable. We cannot let such crimes go unpunished. And that's why we want the full, the rule of law to be followed. We do not want technicality whereby we'll have suspects released based on violation of their constitutional rights.
All right, Faith Odhiambo.
We want the due process to be followed.
Thank you so much for joining us to share with us what this means and what the way forward is as regards the Shakahola inquiry. We certainly will be following up with this story. Thank you for your time with us this morning.
Thank you.